Okay guys, we are going into the final of Antec attack number 19. It is between EmpireKas and EmpireHappy. It is a TvT. I am SC2 England and my amazing co-caster is Pewey. Say hi, Pewey.
Hey guys.
So, this is an Empire only final.
Yeah.
And it should be good. Hopefully it's a best of 5. I'm secretly hoping that there's going to be not all 5 of long TvT games because my voice may die. But anyway, we do have Happy as the yellow tone in the lower left and Cass as the green tone in the top right. And as I said, TvT maps Tolderim. I do believe it's Force Cross spawns, isn't it? Or is it?
No, Tal'Darim has never been Force Cross.
Now, anyone wondering what they're typing at the moment?
They're all about prize money.
The prize money, it's 125 euros for the winner, 75 for the second place. So anyone who tuned into Antec attack number 18 would know that it was TSL Revival versus TSL Hyen in a ZVZ.
Yes.
And I have a sneaky suspicion that they had a gentleman's agreement to split it 100-100 because they just both like 6-pooled every game.
It was like a 6-pool, a 10-pool, a 6-pool, or something like that.
Yeah.
And weirdly enough, Hyen won them all and 3-0'd his teammate. Now, like looking at these guys, like they are of course teammates, and obviously they're both Terrans and all this. So there's going to be a lot of little mental games. But Kaz, as we know, is probably the most superior player. He wins a lot more tournaments. He has a much bigger rep. And like Happy doesn't go to many lands either. He goes to a couple like DreamHack and stuff, but he doesn't really post great results like Kaz does.
The other thing I think is really key to note is that in this Antec attack tournament we've cast a lot of both of these players' games against Zergs, and they went for nearly identical builds. So that suggests that these players work very closely together. Obviously share ideas, share strategies. So one would assume that also carries on to their TvT.
To an extent, yes, but of course, because they're playing against each other, they mix it up quite heavily. Like their builds at the moment are actually, now that the command center is down for Happy or Kaz, it's a bit. Oh no, I am reading it wrong. Yeah, Happy has gone for a 1 Rax into a gas, so it looks like he's going to do some tech. Whereas EmpireKas has gone for a 1. Wait, no, did he just go?
He
command
went.
center?
No, he went Rax, command center, Rax. I think.
No, he went command center first.
No, he went command center, Rax. That.
So, yeah, command center first.
Very, very greedy build out there. We're also going to see Happy hiding a factory.
Ooh.
So this is going to be a very different build, and we will see Cass drastically trying to save this SCV, which is being harassed by Happy at the moment, trying to deny this base from going down, but not going to work.
And yeah, like the factory is hidden, which is very interesting. Do you think you might just float that up onto the low ground for faster Hellions?
I don't know, in all honesty. It'll be interesting to see what he does, because obviously Happy does now know that that's down. He's getting a bunker down as well, so we're attempting to. But there is 1 Marine out for Cass, and he's also got that SCV as well, using it to fight and basically deal with the Marines. So that was cleaned up pretty easily by Cass there.
I was pressing the wrong button there. Empire's damn, I meant Happy's SCV is actually going to go get the scout now. But the interesting thing is the Marines from Happy are on a rally point across the map, and the factory. Oh, actually, Happy gets his SCV.
There's a starport coming in here for Happy as well, next to the factory hidden.
Okay, and he should be able. Oh no, Happy does not get the scout. He knew there was something up there. But
you mean Cass didn't get the scout?
Yes. This is going to get annoying trying to cast these both players. Yeah, Kaz did not get the scout.
Meanwhile, we've got 1 Hellion and 1 Medevac, so it's going to be a big push out of Happy, really. Happy is taking down his natural, though, so it isn't an all-in.
Yes. Yeah, he's gone for. It looks like he's going for a Hellion Marine elevator trick into the natural, probably to out the bunker and then do damage directly to the SUVs, and then of course there's not going to be a load of units out for Kaz, so the Hellions may be able to fry a couple of the Marines if they get lined up,
which is always fun.
Yes, and we have a 3rd Hellion on its way. The medevac just pops. Nothing in production yet for Happy. I think he's just got supply block. That's why.
Yeah, well, neither player are supply blocked at the moment. I'm just really having a look around. It all comes down to how much damage Happy can really do with this, because he is behind ultimately by 8 workers. And an orbital command, which is quite significant, and he has been for a long time, because obviously Cass went for that command center first build.
And if we look, this is important to know, Kaz has actually only 1 Marine in the bunk, the rest
Cass has spotted this drop coming in though, this Hellion drop going into his main. And he has now pulled back a lot of Marines because he had a SCV on patrol. And now this bunker's being left exposed. And this is a good little run by, and a couple of SCVs will get taken out. They are lined up, and that is not good at all. But all the Marines start coming in now, and that is a lot of Marines for Cass.
That is. And he has 4 barracks in production at the moment, producing units.
Yep.
So he's got 4 Marines.
Having said that though, he's now adding on 2 reactors and a tech lab, as well as getting his own factory. But this drop is going to go off into the main now. There are a couple of Marines going back to cover it though, because there's supply depots which we've spotted.
Yeah, and that's actually a lot of Marines there. There's 11 Marines from...
Straight away Happy picks that up to run away. I do apologise, I think we both keep mixing up Happy and Cass. It is the most confusing thing in the world, because like yellow and green, I'm slightly colourblind, so I find it really hard to tell the difference for a start. They're both they're both playing on Team Empire. And they're both Terran.
There is a 3rd command center being thrown down for Happy in the bottom right.
Now that could be game changing.
Yes, if it doesn't get scouted.
Which I don't think it will, because Cass doesn't really have much reason to go scouting around everywhere. So he wouldn't expect it either, I don't think. It's very different to how Happy, or really how Terran generally plays in a TvT. Generally you want to stay clumped up, you want to stay secure, so when those tanks start playing in, you can defend everything nicely.
Are you seeing all these Marines run around the towers? It's absolutely hysterical.
It's like they're having a little race or something.
Yeah, it's like there's 1 Marine at the top tower, and then 2 Marines come, and then that one's like, oh well, fuck this. And then he went to the other tower, killed the Marine there, and then the 2 Marines from the top tower took him out, and now of course they just stopped moving for a little bit. I thought that was very comical for some reason.
I've forgotten what game it was. I cast a game a couple of days ago where someone just had like a load of Marines, and they were obviously bored, waiting for stuff to happen, so they just set each individual Marine on its own patrol pattern.
Yeah, it's so funny when you see things like that. The 3rd command center has been turned into an orbital now for Happy. Meanwhile, Kaz has his command center about halfway done, or 40% done. He does have 2 medevacs in production, whereas Happy only actually doesn't have any add-on on his starport yet, and he's producing tanks. So this is totally different builds from these players here.
I mean, it's going to come down to really how many tanks can Happy get out, because once those tank numbers start reaching critical mass, they'll become exceptionally hard for Cass to deal with.
Yeah.
Exceptionally hard, especially without tanks of his own. But then, of course, Cass does have those medevacs starting to come out 2 at a time, and drop play is going to become super effective for him. And if he spots this base of Happy's down in the bottom right, Cass will take the lead incredibly.
Yeah, definitely. So I find it interesting though that Kaz is 35 supply ahead of his opponent, and it's a TvT, so 35 supply in a mirror matchup is actually a lot of supply. Oh, that 1 Marine. There's a little Marine battle at the tower.
If we look at the work gun as well, that's purely army supply difference. They're exactly the same on workers. So there's a lot of Marines here. They are 0-0. They 1-1. Not actually started yet for Happy. No, for Cass. Cass has got +1 just finished, and he's just starting +1 infantry armor. He's checking that 3rd base, and he's going to get a bit suspicious when he sees nothing. In my opinion, anyway. What do you reckon?
Yeah. It's hard to say because, like I said, they are with the Terrans. Kaz's rocks aren't destroyed. Oh, actually, Kaz's rocks are destroyed. So maybe he feels like Empire doesn't want to expand yet because it is a it's like a standard build with Hellions into a command center via command center first. So Kaz is going to be ahead on his 3rd. So I don't feel like Kaz will find
behind on his 3rd because of that hidden one in the bottom right. And also Happy just getting up his 4th command center now, but a massive drop coming down. But one gets taken out so quickly, and the second one so nearly falls. But that was a big loss there for Cass.
That was he didn't do any damage there. He just lost Marines.
a
And a medevac.
a medevac full of Marines. But this hidden base for Happy is really making the difference.
Yeah, and he's muling that as well. So like if Kaz, for example, was to look at the natural and the main, like drop scans and realize there were no meals, then that would tip him off that there's a hidden expansion.
Exactly.
I've got now the rocks at the third were taken out for Happy now.
I mean, the one thing to remember is Cass has really seen now just how many tanks Happy has out. Meanwhile, obviously, Cass is only getting his third tank out now, or in production. So he's only got one tank on the field. He doesn't have siege mode done yet. He hasn't even started siege mode, and dealing with tanks without tanks is exceptionally difficult.
Yeah, one thing that is in Kaz's favor is the 3 factories of his V2 of Happy, so he can catch up, but it will take a little bit. But he's having a very hard time trying to put damage here because Happy just seems to know where he is.
1-1 is done for Cass at the moment. Happy only has +1 attack. Those tanks getting off some free hits on the Marines though, which is never fun.
And Kaz is moving back around. He wants to go for the third. Happy pulls it back, seizures his tanks, and
that's going to stop Cass.
Yep, it just forces a nice little stim on his army.
There's just no way for Cass to push this really.
We got another drop.
Double drop, and to be fair, those turrets are in an amazing spot, and he doesn't want to lose another medevac load of Marines. That'd be just awful.
But he does know where the turrets are, so he can avoid them. But he might fly into another one on the left. Oh no!
Nope, he's just going to go right between both.
I think he accidentally hit his control group and moved everything at once then, and he's doing it again. Kaz, he's on hold move with his medevac.
That's so close, and the medevac goes down. That is a big loss there for Cass.
It's huge.
Meanwhile, Cass does have his 4th base up though.
Does, and he forces Happy to relocate his third to the just
fourth.
above. Yeah, his 4th base.
It's very confusing when people take his bases, isn't it?
Well, let's call this one his third, and then the bottom right his 4th, just because it's hard. You can either go in order of when they're produced or how close they are to the base. And oh my god, the command center's forced to left again as Kaz runs around to try and get it.
Now, amazingly, the supplies have caught up very, very quickly.
That's true.
Cass did have about 30 supply lead, but is now down to about 5. And that's purely because of that hidden expansion.
Yeah, but it is important to note that Happy has a much bigger bank.
Oh yeah, hugely as well. So that's why we see him adding on a lot of add-ons to these barracks. His main base is completely mined out though for both players actually. So gonna have to go for a transfer of SCVs. The tank marine army for Happy moving out nicely. Meanwhile, we've got Cass with a big tank marine army. If we take a quick look at the numbers, it's 5 medevacs to 4, 11 tanks to 14, and 76 Marines to 49. So Cass has a huge Marine lead.
Does, and got a little engagement possibly happening. Lots of tank siege, and one of Kaz's gets annihilated instantly. And of course, they're dropping scans to get vision and siege each other's tanks. But it looks like Happy's just going to go for this base, and he's more than likely going to get it, but probably lose his army on the retreat.
But he's now sieged up though, so
yeah,
he's going to be able to take that. Even if he doesn't, he's going to be able to pick up a lot of SCVs. The SCVs have to run away. And now, I mean, if I was Cass, I'd try and just box him in.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would try and do. Get a nice little split.
And that's exactly what he's doing. He's coming in, he's going to get a great tank position. A scan goes off though, so he knows exactly what's coming. We are going to have an engagement here, and a good spread of Marines here for Cass. He's going for it, and he's annihilating this army.
Yeah, there's enough Marines there where they have big enough surface area to... They still take a lot of damage, but they can take out the tanks fairly fast, of course. Marines for tanks is
Meanwhile, there's a drop going down in the bottom right here for Cass, so he has found that hidden base, and it's going to go down.
But that base totally paid for itself.
Oh yeah, like 1,000,000 times over.
Yeah.
I mean, he's pretty low on minerals though anyway, so he'd nearly mined it out.
Some of them at least.
Yeah, some of them. But he was muling there pretty much exclusively, so...
Yeah, that's what you do. The smallest is 360 and the most is like 1400. Which is the one that had like no SCVs.
So, we will see both players have pretty much equal supplies. Just looking at the production tab, we've got 3 2 upgrades coming out for Happy at the moment, compared to the 3 2 upgrades already done for Cass. So Cass slightly ahead in the upgrades.
Oh, Kaz's army might get caught off guard here. He gets a late siege from the Marines. Stem and they pick off one tank before. They force back. And of course we have some scans being thrown down.
And
There
it's
was
pretty much a stalemate again now.
It is. There was an SUV that went to build a fifth or what a base. Let's just call them bases now with these guys because they just throw so many down. At the top, and EmpireHappy just has a medevac with 8 Marines just chilling.
I'm not sure if he's forgotten about that. That's been there for ages. But we have got a drop going down into the main of Kas, and he gets some tanks up in there.
He does, and there's a lot of tanks on the siege, in siege mode on the low ground, so they couldn't pick off all the medevacs sadly. But yeah, Kaz should have seen that drop in the top left because he tried to build a base there and the SUV just died.
And Kas is just going to go for it, unsieged all the way, and annihilate that army of Happy. That was so one-sided.
It was. Pretty much because EmpireHappy has just... He hasn't reinforced that army, so it's just like one army, and then that dies, and then of course he has his other army back at home. Whereas Kaz was fighting with like his entire army, so he has a slightly more cost-efficient trade. But if we look at how many medevacs does Kaz has? 1 medevac, and look at his Marines.
Well, it's actually even up a lot in terms.
It is. It's very strange.
It's a very peculiar game. Happy does have more workers though, and now we will see this drop will get cleaned up, which has been sitting there forever.
Yes, but I feel like this is quite important that he has no energy on his medevac and his Marines are really hurt.
Yep.
Whereas of course Happy's are nearly all full health. There's just a couple with low health.
It's going to be a close engagement no matter which way it goes. I feel like there is superior numbers for Kas, even though the supply doesn't suggest it.
Oh, and we have
that was a very late siege there by Kas.
And all the Marines get annihilated from Kaz, and tanks left. Kaz has more tanks.
It was complete mutual destruction of Marines though.
Yeah, especially Kaz's Marines, they died instantly.
We've got a double drop coming up here for Happy.
Yeah.
He's going to go and try and take out that 4th base. He's going to use that siege tank just to...
Yes, and because this is a planetary fortress morphing in, it's not going to be able to escape. He stims his Marines to the edge. There's nothing to shoot just yet.
He's going to drop the Marines down as well. He can get a lot of SCV kills as well. But Kas's army is there.
Finished. Yeah, Kas should be able to hold this just well. It's 1 tank v4. They don't even siege. They just run up and start attacking it.
1 tank does get taken down though, which is never a fun time. There's also a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th base out for Happy in the very centre south. So this is really the downside to commentating a TvT is you get lots of these little engagements, whereas in any other matchup, really, if you lose your entire army, you pretty much lose. Whereas in TvT, they've rebuilt another one behind.
Pretty much, or they have tanks, so you can't go finish them off.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. But EmpireHappy is actually going to put some more pressure into the top base of Kaz. And Kaz has 2 tanks, but they will not be in range. And there's a lot. This is EmpireHappy's total army, so this base will die fairly fast.
Yeah, it will. He can't send the Marines down, but the tanks alone will be able to clear it all out.
Yeah.
It's just whether, again, we'll see Kas go and just try and pin him in. Or we'll just get mass repairs.
Yeah, he won't be able to kill it if it's been repaired.
But we are going to get a bit of an engagement here. The tanks again, Kas is taking a huge amount of damage here.
Oh wow.
Absolutely massive. I feel that's a really bad engagement. He is picking off a lot of it, but it doesn't manage to kill everything. He lost an incredible amount of supply there. Happy definitely had a good engagement there. He
went into quite a bottleneck, and of course siege tanks deal and splash deal a lot more in chokes. And look at the supply, 130 v 180, and of course economy is better for Happy with that as well.
Having said that though, look at the resources lost tab. It's pretty equal. Only about 1,000 resources in it. Which, 26 minutes into a game, that's pretty significant.
And it looks like we could have another engagement coming up soon. Kaz is... His army's on... Is his army on move command or attack move?
I am not sure. Attack move. I just gave it a quick check. So he's just going to basically block Happy's army in here.
Yeah. And he takes... he took a little chunk of it there, and of course... Kaz seems to be fighting with his whole army, whereas EmpireHappy seems to like to split it up a little bit more.
Meanwhile, the 4th base of Happy, or one of Happy's bases, is forced to fly away. I've completely lost count of which base is which. So this is again late game TvT. A TvT ends when the maps run out of resources, basically.
Near enough.
Unless someone cheeses. Or all-ins. But the 4th base of Kas is getting taken out.
Yeah, and this we got a lot of SCVs dying with that as well. They haven't actually killed that many workers for how many bases have been lost. In the meantime, it's important to note that Kaz is actually sieging the natural of his opponent.
Yep,
And
he's doing an elevator trick as well.
Yeah, but then he realizes there's Marines next to the tanks, so that is not a good idea.
Yeah, there's also a lot of tanks there at the end of the day.
Yes.
Again, it's getting into a pretty stalemate situation. I feel Happy's ahead. Just from the better economy. But we've got Seeker Missile coming out here for Happy.
Oh, sick. I haven't even looked at the production for like this game.
As well as
so
the
crazy.
Corvid reactor and durable materials. So we're going to have a Raven switch here.
Kaz's little force gets picked off. The one going for his Kaz's 3rd. But yeah, EmpireHappy has a lot more bases. Kaz is only on 3, and one of those is about 1.5 is mining, whereas Happy has about 3 or 2.5 mining.
No, he's Happy. We have both 2.5. That's true.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm getting ready for this big Raven switch up. There's also another command center in Happy's base ready to fly down to retake the position north of his main.
I think that was the command center that was there.
Was it? Did it just fly up and just like go and sit
I'm
down?
sure that flew off because the SCV started running around towards.
Pure, I'm going to be honest. There's been so many bases killed and
I know,
so many bases made. How are we as
crazy.
mere mortals meant to keep up with this? But we have got engagement coming in here. Cass has got some of his army called out in position, but he's going to be able to trade relatively cost effectively with it.
The siege tanks, and Cass actually sees a little SCV transit, so he knows that the base at the bottom right is back there. He should, at least. And then he's going to be able to take off the bottom middle base as well, which is quite important. This is
really an exact example of this is how you play TvT.
Yeah. It's crazy. Oh, don't fight a planetary fortress with playing tanks.
What's he doing? He's going to lose tanks here for no reason. But he is going to be able to take it out, so...
Yeah, there weren't many SCVs, but that was... He lost like 2 tanks there.
Yeah, meanwhile Happy has got an awful lot of tanks reinforcing that central lower base.
Which is good, so he doesn't lose that base. I was wondering where all his tanks are then. I was like, where are they?
He needs to use that medevac to keep vision of the high ground though, just to basically make sure it's all safe. Meanwhile, Cass has retaken his 5th.
But the tanks are close to the high ground, so the Marines are able to stim and do some damage to get taken out. And then it's a bit of siege war. It's 1 tank v 4 tanks in siege mode, so that victory will go to Kaz.
Most definitely.
Very slowly. And then of course they could start shelling on the planetary. In the meantime,
there's a big move up of units of Happy. I was just noticing that. And Happy's actually getting 4 Ravens at a time at the moment.
Oh shit.
Well, it makes sense. Ravens are good units. Like, Seeker Missile just annihilates tank lines. Not to mention the fact that they're just awesome. I like Ravens.
You shouldn't be saying that.
No, I remember my...
Oh, we got some Seeker Missiles going.
Huge amounts of damage. All the medevacs are going to get taken out as well. That'd be massive, but no.
Actually, if you paid attention there, the Seeker Missiles went onto the Marines, and Kaz picked up all the Marines with his medevacs. The Seeker Missiles were like, they didn't know what to attack and just exploded.
That is sick.
That was crazy. But now Kaz is 100 supply v 170 of his opponent.
This game's just got from like good to crazy. Meanwhile, Cass is going to try and take out that central middle base with 4 tanks. He should be able to do so. Wow, he's like taking out like a couple of hits. Meanwhile, we've got engagement in the outside the natural of Cass. And so Happy's got more stuff. And there's the GG from Cass. That was game 1, so do tune in for game 2.